Hey guys, MoJK here to talk about the upcoming Final Fantasy Type-0 banner. Yep, that's right, another Type-0 banner, and this is not the last, so let's get into it. Personally, I've never played the Type-0 game or games. I don't know if there's more than one, and it seems like they're really pushing it on us, but it kind of shows that they're filling in all the gaps that are possible before getting to the Orlando banner, so maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're getting close. So anyway, let's get into the macro details. The grand prize of the banner is going to be a base 5-star that goes to 6-star named Queen. She's a damage dealer. So she was kind of mediocre before, like in the wiki and everything, from when I looked it up a while ago. And it seems like they decided, well, they realized that, and they decided to give her a lot of global exclusive abilities to buff her up. So we'll talk about those right now. Well, first, her Trustmaster reward is called Wisdom. Boosts HP by 20%, attack by 30. This is a really good TM. Not that I can recommend it for everybody because it's going to be hard to pull, but if you do pull it, it's definitely something you want to farm up. Anything that's at 30% to attack is really up there. And HP is obviously important for everybody. And her global exclusive abilities look really good. Attack plus 30%, really big boost, obviously. Seems to be a passive that makes her immune to blind and paralysis. Auto revive with 1% HP within 5 turns. I guess this is 5 turns after the battle starts, or is this something you would have to activate? I'm not 100% sure. And then Devastate is a 5 times physical attack combo on one enemy. And this is enhanced from the ability that she already had. So I don't know if the enhancement means that it's more damage or if it's the fact that it's a one enemy attack now rather than being random. So I guess we'll see, but these are really good improvements to the character. So it'd be interesting to see if she's like viable now. The next banner unit is going to be a base 4-star that also goes to 6 stars, named 9. These names are not very original. His Trustmaster reward is, it's like the same thing as Medius, like the growth egg and everything. It's a 50% boost to experience obtained, and I believe this works the same way, where you would only get the bonus in like actual levels and things like that. So if you're going up in the vortex of experience, that would help out, but it would not apply to, using cactuars or things like that. He also is getting some nice buffs, global exclusive abilities, boost attack and spirit by 20%. That's a really nice offensive and defensive buff. This is going to boost his damage inflicted by jump, which I think is pretty important because his kind of quote-unquote ultimate ability has a 3-turn delay, so I don't know how much I'd want to even use that one. But as far as like the regular jumping skills, that's probably going to be our bread and butter. And then Clean Sweep, deal partial unmitigated damage on all enemies. I believe that's going to be like a 1.8 AoE, but we can take a look at that in a little bit. Basically a Dragoon that also has AoE abilities. And then we have the only goes to 5-star characters, so we don't really care about them unless their Trustmaster rewards are good characters. This one's called Sync, or Sync, I don't know. She only goes to 5 stars, but she has a really good TMR actually. Boosts attack and defense by 20%. So in the past, we've had a lot of these, like, well, not a lot, but we've had some 20% attack boosting TMRs, and they were typically on units that were kind of limited or hard to get, like Fencer's Lunge combo or Carl from the Brave Frontier collab event. His was called, okay, I'm blanking on that, but basically they were 20% attack and a couple of other things too. This is going to be almost as good or about as good, and it's a base 3-star unit, so a lot of people can join in on the fun, get themselves a 20% attack boost TMR. And then there is 8, who I would consider the booby prize only because His Trust Master reward isn't all that great. I mean, sure, it's fine on like a healer or maybe even a tank or whatever, but it is very not a priority TMR farm. So let's go ahead and jump into the more finer details. We'll start with Sync here. So again, only goes to 5 stars, so I'm not going to cover her in too much depth. Decent stats. Only can equip maces and hammers, which is pretty unique. Here's a decent AoE here, 1.9. And another AoE in case the wind damage is something of a liability. But all in all, not really much to comment on. The full swing ability here is okay, I guess. Reduces defense by 25% and deals, 2.1 damage, which isn't great. But at this point, we have a lot of debuffers in the game now, including Rain, who everybody has. So I don't really see this as anything special. And yeah, Limit Burst is pretty decent AoE attack and reduces attack, but it's a limit burst, so you're not going to be able to rely on it too much. Not really much to say about her, but yeah, except the TMR is pretty good. 8 is not that good either. He's a monk character. Pretty decent HP, only can equip fist weapons, so that's a little limiting, but he does get a boost from that. Where is it? Okay, 30% attack boost when he equips a fist weapon. This is basically a barrage, it looks like, but really you don't see anything special here. If you're going to use a monk type of character, I mean, it's just as easy to get something like, oh my gosh, a Zhao, that's what her name is. You can pretty much get a Zhao. Everybody has a Zhao at this point, unless they're new to the game, and that character actually goes to 6 stars, actually pretty decent, so there's no reason to actually use a character like 8. This is a pretty trash limit burst. Not only is it only one enemy, the multiplier is kind of low, and you have to sacrifice HP, so that makes no sense. You would never want to use that. Pretty bad character, all in all. And then here we have 9, the Dragoon type. Now, he has the pretty standard Dragoon type of stuff, jump and high jump. The hyper dive ability is just way too much delay. 3 turns after you do 1 attack. I mean, 4.5 is good, but it is not worth losing 3 turns over, so I don't think I would ever use this. He does get some decent passives, 20% here, 30% here, and as you recall, the global exclusive also gives him the what is it? Also gives him the extra 20% attack and spirit, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, he seems okay, but not really anything like you would drool over. He doesn't seem to have anything all that unique, I would say. But he does have AoE, so if you really like Dragoon type of characters and you can't really make Kayn work, I mean, Kayn's max 5 star, then this is a pretty decent option for you. And then Queen, the so-called prize of the banner, she doesn't really have that much going for her on the surface either. I mean, her stats are okay. They're actually very well-rounded. Good attack. She can equip daggers, swords, and great swords. But as you can see from her default list of abilities, there really isn't anything that stands out at all. Let's see here. I mean, Berserk, increased attack by 200% when her HP drops below 3%. I mean, when is that going to ever happen without you dying, Well, at least in a default version. And then attack passive-wise, she has a 20% here, and that was it, which is really terrible, actually, for a 6-star character. She did have this nice 5 attack ability, Devastate, which is a 4.5 multiplier, pretty darn high, but it was to random enemies, which makes it sound like a, enhanced barrage type of thing. She does have Kiraja, which gives her some extra utility, which is pretty interesting. But all in all, for a base 5-star unit, she wasn't really that special. But she does get some nice improvements now in global with the attack plus 30%, which is badly needed. I mean, that pretty much just puts her on par with a lot of other base 5 stars. It doesn't even really set her apart. And then she has some immunities. What's kind of interesting now is the flinch-proof martyr auto revives her with 1 HP, with a 1% HP within 5 turns. So that's an actual realistic way of triggering Berserk here. So I think they kind of realize that nobody's going to actually have her fall, below 3% in realistic situations. So that new global exclusive passive seems to pair really well with this, and 200% is a really big buff. So she actually does have some potential now with the global exclusive abilities. I mean, if you could get, there's gonna be a lot of situations where the bosses might knock you out or whatever, and if she comes back with 1% HP, you can bet that she's gonna have a crazy amount of attack for the next 3 turns if you can keep her alive. So some interesting possibilities. I still wouldn't say that she's like a top tier character or anything, because I mean, a 50% attack passive is nothing special. It's just on par. And she does have a really nice single target ability here with Devastate, but she doesn't really offer much in terms of utility unless you need some backup healing here. But if you got the unit, you're going to be happy because she is a capable damage dealer and her Trustmaster reward is very good. So anyway, that's my review on this banner. My advice would be to pull kind of like a minimum that you need to farm up the event properly, but don't go all out, because the next banner is probably going to feature Rem, who's going to be the best healer in global. Not going to be there terribly long because we're probably going to have a 6-star Tillith coming our way soon, but Rem still offers some unique things like re-raise and stuff, so forth. So I would say if you're going to pull on any of these Type-0 banners, it would be the one that has a really powerful unit on it rather than this one. But some of us are collectors, some of us want these units regardless, and Queen is a pretty decent unit to have. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that review. I'll talk about the event in just a little bit, but actually I'll cover that right now because it's related to the characters. So what I mean by that is okay, for some reason this is not refreshing, so I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. So this is going to be the Type-0 farming event, King Mog event. So a lot of us know what to expect by now. It is starting on Friday, and it's going to run almost 2 weeks. The first clear rewards are pretty much what we've come to expect: a single ticket, and then some of the currency, and then 500 lapis. The part that gets interesting for me is there's a bunch of global exclusive items or materia here. Now, we don't really know too much about it, but there has been speculation based on the name of the abilities and things like that. Lightspeed Jab boosts attack, reduces defense, and enables last stand. That sounds pretty useful actually, but chances are it's going to be exclusive to one of the Type-0 characters, most likely I would say 8. Somebody on Reddit was posting that these names correspond to abilities that these characters actually have, so that would make a lot of sense. When I first saw this cheerleader, I got really excited because boosts attack and defense by 25% and enable cheer. That's a pretty crazy materia. But of course, it's probably going to go on Sync, who is maxes out at 5 stars. It does make her a little bit more useful, I guess. Gives her some party buffs that she can use, and definitely increases her stats by a good amount. But of course, they would put a really good global exclusive TMR, or not TMR, a materia on a unit that only goes to 5 stars. Energy Bomb sounds like it might be Queen, so she's going to consume her own HP to deal physical damage to all enemies. White Knight would probably be whatever that number is, 9, the Dragoon guy. And Imperial Helm, this could be probably, you know, either worn by everybody or by the Type-0 characters at the very least, because it's just pretty much a standard material at this point. I'm guessing it's going to be for everybody. So that's my take, and I think the people or whoever wrote this on Reddit with speculation is probably on point here, because there's no way they're going to give us a 25% materia that boosts both attack and defense and enables cheer for everybody. And then the equipment, this Skull Crusher is very weak, but possibly very, very new players could make use of that. Vitality Apparatus is pretty good, 15% HP and defense +5. A nice alternative or replacement for the Muscle Belt, so that can go on your tanks and so forth. And then Phantasmal Blade, +78 attack. It's a really cool looking sword. And, you know, we can always use more regular swords in the game rather than great swords and so forth. The attack, I wish it was a little bit higher, you know, to kind of keep up with the power creep in the game. We've had, you know, a lot of swords and great swords and weapons in the 70s range, but still not going to complain. It's a nice sword regardless. And then, of course, they're going to give us character bonuses based on who you bring into the farming fights. And then there's going to be a Nimbus who's going to be very much like, what is that other boss that we had that would basically guarantee, you know, knock out one of your characters at least. This is going to be kind of like that. But what's interesting about this Nimbus is that you can actually steal from him to get Phantoma. You don't have to kill him. So you can steal from him and then just like not hit him, and then he'll kind of leave you alone. Or you can steal from him and kill him, and you're probably going to get, you know, you can double dip into the currency. So that's kind of an interesting mechanic. That's about it for the event. I think pretty much everything else is self-explanatory, but yeah, as far as what to buy, these are probably going on 5-star characters, so I don't know if I would recommend it unless you, for some reason, are going to use them. Maybe, depending on the multiplier, would use Energy Bomb or whatever. If you're still struggling with HP type of materials, you know, this could be useful for some of you guys. As far as the equipment, Vitality Apparatus is pretty good, and Phantasmal Blade. So there's some stuff to look forward to here, but yeah, that's pretty much my take. I don't think there's anything overly unique, but we'll see when it comes out for sure. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna cut the video finally, and yeah, I'll be back on Thursday or Friday. I think Friday, when all this stuff starts, and I'll probably have to do a few pulls. So take care.